What's up, Pats fans? We're back. Episode, I don't know. The bit's getting old, to be honest. I'm not in the mood for the bit today. Andrew, what episode are we? Yeah, that's right. That's there. You go.
I think
right.
it's unlucky number 13.
Yeah, that's exactly
we're in the
right.
Ken Walter episode today, baby. The Ken Walter.
Oh boy, episode 13. I'm salty today. I should apologize to you like Belichick did at the news conference the other day, but it's episode 13. Ken Walter. We'll talk about it. Are you already going?
Who doesn't love a left-footed Super Bowl winning punter, man? Come on.
Are you going with that as the best? The best.
I mean, you got
13?
that Brandon Cooks, Philip Dorsett.
I was thinking Dorsett probably.
Was Cooks 13 for the Patriots?
Cooks was what was Cooks? Anybody remember?
Anyway, we'll get to that later in the show.
Man, we're jumping right in. Yeah, Who's counting? We're back. It's excited to be here with you guys. Not excited about coming off Saturday night, but Michael Lake is here. Pat Sox Celts Brews on Boston Sports Journal. If you haven't gone to Boston Sports Journal, I say it every week. You need to go check it out. Best Patriots coverage by Greg Bedard, bostonsportsjournal.com. Go check it out. We're all members here, and you all should be members to be sure. We'll go around the horn here. We got to my right, my brother, Andrew Lakis. Andrew, I'll let you give your handle and tell us how you're doing today.
Yeah, guys. Hey, y'all. Winter coats. And today, how am I doing today? I was telling everybody when we were getting ready, I felt great. Looking forward to the holidays, feeling good. And then I remembered we were doing the podcast today, which then made me remember Saturday night. And now I'm not in such a good mood. I feel more like Jim Mora circa 2001 or whenever that was, is how I'm feeling today.
Yep. Might have some Jim Mora on the show today, whether it's from me or actually playing the quote. I don't know if we're allowed to on the podcast, to be honest with you. So probably not. All right. We're going to pass it back. We'll go Mike Davis. Mike Davis, is that butt fumble you have behind you? Is that what that is? Or is that a different picture of Big Vince?
I don't know what it was. I just was trying to find something. It's really hard to find anything with Vince Wilfork because he's always in the middle of the action.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I love Big Vince, man. I'm guessing you watched Man in the Arena. Is that why you have that on? No?
I am. I'm up through the middle of episode 5. But
yeah,
man. You had me up late last watching it before this.
So. How are you today, man?
I am fantastic. I'm better than the Patriots.
All right. Very good.
And I am Mike from Stoneham from BSJ.
Awesome. All right. The man to your left, also known as my father, Doug Lakis. How are you today?
Coach.
Hi, guys.
Coach.
Doing well. D Lake is on BSJ, and I'm about the same way you guys are feeling. I was okay up until this morning when I knew we had to get on and talk about and rehash what happened on Saturday night.
Hey, I think go ahead.
Everything's good. Everything's good.
I think we should start a petition to change your name to Coach Lakis on Boston Sports.
I was going to say, I think we need a new BSJ username is going to need to happen today.
Just do Coach.
Yeah, Coach Lakis, man. It's got to be Coach. You got to have the Lakis on there so everybody knows who you are. That way we don't change it too much. But
okay.
All right. Well, we're here, and Saturday happened, so. That was fun. Down 20-0 deep into the third quarter. I did believe
fourth.
Oh, thank you for the reminder.
We got shut out for 3 quarters.
Yeah, got shut out for 3 quarters. I still believed. You can ask these guys. I was texting that the comeback was coming. I believed it was coming. My dear wife sitting beside her. I'm like, we're coming back, man. She's like, I don't know about that. I'm like, we're coming back. She's like, you watching the same game I am? I'm like, we're coming back. I said 28-3. She goes, yeah, you had Brady at 28-3. Thanks for the reminder, Addie. Appreciate it. And she was right. They did not come back. Final 27-17. Almost did, but really fought well in the fourth quarter to cut it to 3. And then Jonathan Taylor runs for 67 yards and ends that. So we'll just pass it around the room. Any thoughts? And we'll probably stay on this game for a while, just to sit in it for a while. And then we got the Bills coming up and we'll talk about that. But I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, that sucked, as Jim Moore would say. So I'll say it for you. That's my opinion. So I'm just passing around the room. Let's get after it.
I'll start. What we talked about before we came on. Just so many things were wrong with Saturday, starting with the reverting back to the first 6 weeks when they were making all sorts of mental errors and pre-snap mistakes. And, they'd have a 1st and 10 and someone would move too soon. And that was they're behind the chains again. And they hadn't done that in 7 weeks. I don't care who they were playing. They just hadn't done it. And another, a special teams break. To me, the biggest play of the game was a block punt. I don't understand. And it was a simple it was a simple breakdown. The guy ran right by Jakob Johnson, and that was it. And those kinds of things, to beat a good team, you're not going to beat a good team with that. So
yeah,
that was my biggest takeaway, was a block punt. Absolutely turned the whole thing around.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it, Dad, to your point. I mean, the ball went perfectly flying into the end zone. I mean, it was just a comedy of errors. I mean, it hit perfectly. Nobody was around it. And I'm just, shell shocked. I think at that point, we have a text chain, and I think everybody was shell shocked. Bill's not with us. He couldn't make it today, and Chubb couldn't make it, but they were, Bill especially. I can't remember what we put on the text, but it was like one word, just wow, or something like that. Just not being able to fathom what he watched. So I'm with you on that. Andrew, Mike, what are your thoughts?
I'll jump next only because I want to follow up on what Coach just said. I mean, they gave up 7 on the blocked punt. They had a pre-snap penalty that caused them to re-kick that field goal. That's 10 points on special teams. How many did they lose by there, Mike?
10
points, right? So right there is the difference in the game, is those 2 plays. And in the text chain, I was like, why the hell is Jakob Johnson in there blocking at the guard position? I'm sorry, I don't get it. I understand the Patriots put a whole lot of money into special teams, but it's a freaking guard position. You can't afford to put a damn offensive lineman in that slot to take up space.
I think when you texted that, I think I responded. I said they use a lot of skilled guys on the punt teams and things like that because they can get down the field.
Yeah,
but you got to get the ball punted first.
You got to protect the ball.
to your point. But he shouldn't be able to get to the ball
just missed
that
the block.
Quickly. That's right.
Your long snapper is not a center, right? He's not as big. He's not as strong.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be focused on snapping the ball. So if you're doing anything, put the 2 damn best blockers on either side of him to protect the middle of the ball. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
don't disagree.
No, but I think the thread here, when you look at the way they came out, the blocked punt, the inability to execute third and shorts throughout the whole first half, the not setting the edge. I talk a lot each week about the expectations and where we're at, and from a fan perspective, what are we actually watching? How high should our expectations get? Last week I said I was all in, and I gotta be honest, watching Saturday, I think that was the thing that hit me most is season's not over. They could come back. Usually after a horrible week, they'll have a better effort this week. But they, with a bye week and the chance to rest and put in a game plan, they just didn't execute. Johnson didn't block the guy coming in, and that I just think was symptomatic of lack of execution across the board. And, it doesn't mean they can't still have a great season. It doesn't mean that they can't, go all the way in the playoffs, but it does give me pause because it's like that kind of execution you shouldn't be seeing in week 14. That's a really, really glaring sign, I think, for where this team goes.
So post-game interviews was really interesting. Belichick sent 2 of his captains out first before anybody else spoke. He sent Andrews out first, and he sent Slater out second. That is not your usual post-game. And they both went out there and they both said, basically, we just got our lunch eaten. We just got our heads handed to us. We just came out flat. We didn't execute. We were terrible, right? And it wasn't an accident that he sent his captains out to go out there first before anybody else to say, boy, just exactly what y'all said. We sucked, right? And the difference is hopefully they have a much better week of practice. They come out and go, okay, now we know what Coach was talking about. Like we talked about it on the podcast a few weeks ago, mistake repeaters, right? The same damn mistakes that were cropping up earlier in the year. If you're not cleaning those up, you're not playing Patriots football. It's okay to make a mistake, but don't make the same damn mistake over and over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, I think we hit 5 I think we only get 6 dams. No, I'm telling you. You're bringing the fire, man. By the way, almost when you said how many lose by, I was 2 seconds. You were in a serious comment, but I almost said who's counting. That almost happened. Dad, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, did it look to anybody else and I keep referring back to the first 6 weeks, as far as not being coached very well Saturday night. I
don't think they were coached well.
I couldn't get around. I mean, that just
I don't know if I
don't know.
I think they were clearly out-coached, Coach. I
totally agree with that.
Well, we said on last week, and I feel like such an idiot. Like, I can't believe what did I predict? 42-7 or something?
42-10, I believe.
That is
your prediction.
That is just putrid bad.
Yeah, you would not have won the showdown.
That is just awful. And what makes me so mad is that
over.
You know what makes me so mad is that I said on there, and it has nothing to do with the prediction. It has to do with the expectations, which is what you just said, Andrew. Like, I was smelling them. I was smelling myself.
Well, so
I was
were
smelling
they.
them.
Like, they were reading all the headlines last week.
And you said it in the fourth quarter. You texted me and said, man, this freaking team was just smelling themselves. And I thought, and I fell right into the trap. And then I said it last week, what I was afraid of, which was Frank Reich, man. And he did. Mike, you may bring a good point. I think the team made mistakes. I think they can be coached better than they were. Frank Reich, man. I mean, he's a good coach, man. And I know they're 8-6. Like, he also is hamstrung by his quarter. Carson Wentz sucks. Like, he's just terrible. So Frank Reich's got what he's got. He likes Carson Wentz, but as a coach, or maybe somebody who knows how to coach Belichick. I mean, 2 times that I can think about Belichick losing big games: the Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles, and on Saturday, Frank Reich was behind both of them. So, I mean, I was on to something there. I think we are all on to something. And then I fell into the trap.
Josh McDaniels put most of that staff together.
You're exactly right. Well, yeah, you're right. Here's the other thing. I don't even know what I was going to say. I'm so mad. I got thoughts coming out of everywhere. I'll bring it back up in a minute. Go ahead, Dan. I'm just so pissed.
The other thing that's kind of troublesome is the fact that they came out afterwards and said they didn't have a very good week of practice and preparation.
Max said that.
Getting ready for a game like that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, Max said that. Said, kind of felt sorry for ourselves. Felt sorry for yourself. What are you talking about?
And Andrew said it right. He said, Jones said the right things. He took onus on it. But my problem is, as a group, as a collective group, that's how you prepare for a big game on set like that.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. So here's the other thing. You helped me remind me what I was talking about. I don't have data to show this, and Mike, you maybe we can pull it up somehow. But like, I think the bye week thing it's a fallacy. I don't think teams are as good as we think they are coming out of the bye. Like, I think we think, Belichick has 2 weeks to prepare. They really only prepare for 1 week. They rest for a week. So like, there's a chance that you're going to get sloppy play, and that's going to happen. Like, it's not like they have 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, they have 2 weeks to mentally prepare, but they're not practicing for 2 weeks.
That points to my earlier. Well, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, yes, coaches could have coached better. Officials could have officiated better. We don't even have to get into that today. But this one's on the players, man. Yeah. You got to go execute. Johnson's got to make that block. It isn't a hard play. You can't coach that.
Right.
It's just like, that guy's coming and you need to block him.
Right.
And I think they had those breakdowns across the board. Same thing with Mack and his interceptions. And like on the second one, Bolden didn't run the right route. He also
hesitated to.
I mean, it's just like, you got to go execute, guys. And at this point in the season, you should be executing with more fidelity. But the reason I say that is, if you get an advantage in a bye week, it's not more practice time. To your point, you're getting the rest and the players rested. But you better believe the coaches are watching more film in that week. They're not having practice. So you find an angle, or you find a game plan strategy, or a couple of wrinkles. And and maybe they had that and they just didn't execute. I don't know what they were doing. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. We should shovel some dirt on this one and let it go and start talking about next week, because at the point we're at, the whole thing could be, we went from being in the catbird seat to this thing could spiral out of control real fast.
So
go ahead,
two quick
Mike.
things. So first of all, you guys just hit the nail on the head in the reverse way, because remember, the Colts also had 2 weeks off.
Yep. Right.
And I think they did a brilliant job of scouting. I think they did a great job of figuring out what the officials were and weren't going to call, because I think I put it in the text chain. It looked like, the 2001 Patriots grabbing and bumping, and they were super physical to our receivers, and they were disrupting the timing all game long. Judon was anytime that Judon actually was getting free, that left tackle was grabbing him, and they weren't getting the calls. They obviously had scouted the officiating staff. And as I said, they knew exactly what Mac Jones was going to do if they just disrupt. Like, they knew the one step away. They did enough scouting to know this is what one step beyond is, and we're going to take that away. And that to me just says they out scouted and out coached the Patriots. And it probably just means that young Patriots team, and I mean young, I mean working together, playing together, they haven't got the depth of like the 03 or the 04 or those, mid-teens Patriots that know, oh my God, when you see this, you just got to do that. Like, it doesn't matter what the call was. When you see this, you got to do that. Barmore got, on that last play, Barmore just blocked the wrong way, and it got Hightower to a place where he couldn't get around. And so, the running back gets all the way to the end zone.
Right. Well, I think that, I think they're good points. I think, a couple things to put a bow on it. And to Andrew's point, we've got to move on talking about
bow
Buffalo.
on this. This is a gift.
Yeah. Well, it's a gift. All right. It's steaming when you open it up.
Burn the film.
Yeah. It's it's a gift that keeps on giving right now.
On Patriots Mondays, the players just we just said, flush it.
That's well,
flush it and move on.
Yep. Yeah. If it's Jelly of the Month Club. So Darius Leonard, by the way, named AFC Player of the Week. 10 tackles, an interception, forced fumble. Congratulations, Darius. What a game. He was, man. Bedard said it, by the way. And if you haven't checked out Boston Sports Journal, I'll throw another plug there. BostonSportsJournal.com. Bedard said it. He said Darius Leonard's a menace. He's going to be all over the field, and he sure was. You know what? I'll say this. I kind of want to end it on a positive note. For Mac, he did look really bad. I mean, I think I saw people asking if he was ill, looking at his face. I don't know if he was physically ill. He's probably mentally ill based on how he was playing in the first half. And I haven't, Dad, I think you talked about it. I haven't seen that look on his face since the first 6 weeks when he's sitting on the sidelines and Belichick's grabbing his arm and all that weird stuff. I do think he fought in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, and made some really difficult throws, got out of some really difficult situations, made that really dangerous throw where Henry bodied up the defender, but took the chance, you know what I mean? Didn't just fall down and get sacked. I was worried he hurt his ankle. I think you were too, Mike, on that play, but he got up and he battled. So if there's one bright light for me, it was, they lost, but I really liked the way that Max stayed in the game and fought in that game. So
I think, again, on a positive note, and I told Andrew this, and I did, as a coach, there's no moral victories, but the fact they didn't play well for 3 quarters and we're 3 points down late in the game. I mean, that's a testament to them battling all night long. I mean, they had a chance. They really had a chance to win the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's just one of those situations. I mean, they put themselves in the situation they're in right now, ideally in the first 6 weeks of the season. Although if they win a game or two with back then, they're not even worrying about this loss on Saturday.
I'm still mad they lost Miami
to the Colts, but that whole thing's changed now. So with a win Sunday against the Bills, they put themselves right back into the into the mix again. So
and just one last thought, right? I mean, if the running back doesn't score that last touchdown, maybe it's different. And
that's right.
Davis was taken out. Davis got hurt, so they lost the nose tackle that they're having so much success with. Barmore's in there. He's a rookie. As I said, maybe he just got out stunted or whatever. That's that learning process, right? That's where they're learning how to win or how not to win.
Yeah. It didn't help Duggar got thrown out of the game either.
Yeah. I mean, I think 2 silver linings I'd point to, from a fan perspective. I mean, the first is I came out of Saturday really frustrated and less optimistic about the rest of this season, but probably more optimistic about the long term. I mean, Mac showed that when his back's against the wall and things aren't quite going right, he can bring a team back. And he did. He brought him back. It was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. And the young guys still are learning to execute, learning to play the Patriot way. I think the future is as bright as it was, if not a little bit brighter. Like Mac proved he can stick with it and bring a team back when they're not playing well. I think the other silver lining I don't know that there's enough time. might go back to the like Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, you are what your record says. And like, there is a little bit of me that says, this team hasn't really outside of the Saints been beat by another team this year. They lose when they don't execute and when their focus doesn't look like it's there. And I think there's a little bit of a silver lining in that. Now, I don't know if maybe they're just not good enough, like they don't have enough talent yet, or the talent's not mature enough to go out and execute like some of the old Patriots teams. But, if they can learn from this, to Mike's point, and not be a, mistake repeater, and this is kind of the kick in the pants wake up, then maybe it ignites a little something and they go out and they execute. I mean, they haven't seen a team since the Saints come in and just absolutely dominate them. Like even that Saints game, there was a lot of stuff they did that made it a bad game. I don't know. I have a little bit of hope there.
That's good.
In reference to Mike Davis talking about preparation, I really think that Harris not playing helped the Colts prepare for this week. I mean, the two-headed monster wasn't out there, so to speak. Yeah. And, that makes a difference. It does. And they were able to isolate the one runner, Stevenson. They knew who was going to get the ball.
Right.
And it's just a good thing. The other thing is, I hope by this coming Sunday, they stop playing with 4 interior offensive linemen, because their left tackle didn't show up at all on Saturday night.
Man, he was awful.
Matter of fact, he made a tackle one time.
Yeah, he did.
Our own running back.
Didn't he? Yeah, he was one of these for him. I mean, that's just, you're right on. Man, it's hard to move on. It's hard to move on from this game because,
where do we go from here? Where do we go from
Sunday?
I don't know. Sunday, I guess. Well, first, before we get to Sunday, we got to talk about the fact that Kendrick Bourne's in COVID protocol. Harry is, I think he's in concussion protocol. Aguilar's in concussion protocol. They were headhunting. Maybe that's why Duggar got ejected.
Oh, man. The Harry one pissed me off because it wasn't even the helmet hit or the defenseless receiver. The guy got there 2 seconds early.
It was pass
clear defensive pass interference.
Absolutely.
I don't even care about the objective piece or subjective piece of did you hit him with your head. It's like pass interference.
Right.
Well, and then
very clear.
It's absolutely pass interference. And then there, 2 guys are picking him up off the field. It looked like Tecmo Bowl when a guy gets injured and, you see the thing. It's like, it was just bad. And then I guess when you push a referee, you don't get ejected, which Belichick talked about. Hilton shoved a referee out of the club and didn't get ejected. Whatever. Anyway, we'll move on.
It definitely looked like Brandon Merriweather was out there playing for the Colts.
Yeah.
Just spearing people with their helmets.
Oh, man.
Or to Bucky Jones, right?
Oh, man. I love to Bucky. Yeah. By the way, I think Brandon Cooks did wear 13. Just to go back.
I thought he was 14.
He was 14.
I was wrong.
Patriots.
All right. Philip Dorsett. No, Andrew, I thought you would go Aaron Dobson as your favorite 13. Wasn't he 13?
No, I don't think so.
17, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, Dobson was 17.
17.
I think it's Ken Walter, man. Unless, for some reason you want to go Philip Dorsett, but poor Philip. I love that guy, and he was a good teammate.
I just want to
underperformed.
You're right. I just want to keep mentioning players that weren't 13 that I think they were.
Walter has a special place in my heart too, because he got signed early in the year after being released of that 2001 team. And shored up their punting game. And he was like the first Belichick foray into left-footed punters. I think he's got a special place in Patriots history. Even though most folks are like, Ken, who? What? He was 13.
Remember, a lot of people think, 13 is an unlucky number, so they won't wear it.
That's did like the 13th floor, right? Did he wear a single? Yeah. He didn't wear a single bar, did he? No, he had the.
Nah, man. Yeah.
Somebody's got to bring
a small one.
By the way, another petition. Somebody's got to bring back the single bar, man. I mean, we got to come on.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that these days.
You can't wear it.
There's no way. They won't even let him
come
wear
on.
certain helmets.
You can't.
Remember the whole Brady thing where they
wait a minute.
He couldn't wear the helmet he wanted to wear.
Wait a
NFL
second.
had retired it.
We can't get the Matt Turk, Gary Anderson single bar anymore. Oh,
I don't think so, man.
That's sad. What a sad day. That makes me sad. All right.
Who was the kicker who sharpened up the inside of that so somebody grabbed his thing?
Jeez. Wait a minute. What? Seriously?
I don't know who that was.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like one of the Andersons, Morton Anderson, or one of those.
I don't think
grabbed his thing.
I don't think Gary wore the single. I don't think Morton wore the single. I think it was Gary, right? Didn't Gary
one of those guys was sharpening up the inside of that single bar. Oh, I remember hearing one of the old time Patriots talk. One of the,
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're like, if you grabbed his thing, your fingers would get all cut up.
What? I don't even know what to do with that. Like.
Let's move on.
No. Leave it alone. Yeah, Sunday. Here we are.
Oh, all right. So 12.
You're not supposed to be grabbing his face mask.
Mike, right? I appreciate the contribution. I think it's great. All right. So let's jump into what we have on Sunday. Might need a razored face mask for this game. It is 1 p.m. Eastern time, which it didn't get flexed, which is interesting to me. The Sunday night game is Dallas, Washington. Like what? That is already decided. Like anyway, it's just interesting that this game didn't get flexed, but it's 1 p.m. It is. There's a lot of injury news, which we talked about. There's a lot of injury news on the Bills too. So Beasley, Feliciano are on the COVID list. I think is AJ Epinesa, is he on the COVID list? I think a lot. He's on there's a lot of COVID stuff going on. So let's see. I didn't get a practice report. I think the practice will come out today. So we'll know exactly, Damian Harris is questionable. Hopefully he can get back in action. Dad, to your point. Let's see this. I want to see what the line is here. So it's
1.5, Mike.
Yeah. Pats are favored by 2.5, which means the Bills kind of have a half point edge because they're getting a half point at home. And the total is 43.5. So I don't know what the weather is supposed to look like. It's supposed to be 37 and cloudy. So it's not going to be blizzard monsoon type conditions like last time. So I don't know. I'm just going to throw it on the table. And maybe I shouldn't feel good. I'm pretty nervous. If they lose this game, I don't want to go doom and gloom, but if they lose this game, they lose the division essentially and go drop into like the 5th or 6th seed with Jacksonville next week, who they should destroy. And then Miami in the house of horrors that is Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, there's a chance this team could go, I hate to even say it, 1-3 down the stretch and not make the playoffs. There's still a 23% chance they don't make the playoffs. So this is a huge game.
Again, it's all on execution, right? I mean, the biggest question to start this game is who the hell's catching the ball for either side, right?
Where's Isaiah Zuber? Where's
you got Diggs on Buffalo's side. He's a number one. And you got our tight ends?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I read a report yesterday. It's a rumor, so it could be fake, but that they're looking at free agent wide receivers or somebody from another team's practice squad to possibly bring in. That's how slim they think they're going to be. So, I mean, Wilkerson and Zuber Zuber's still on the team. No, Trey Nixon and Wilkerson, I think, are their practice squad receivers. So I don't know.
Well, kind of shapes Randy in and get out there and catch a couple balls.
Man, I'd love to see. Of course it could.
So here's the interesting thing. Like we talked about this several weeks ago, when they signed these offseason guys, they signed them to play with Cam, right? They didn't sign them for precise route running. I'm hoping that, at least those two guys, Nixon and Zuber, are guys who are going to be exactly where Mac wants them to be when he's going to throw the ball. And if they're going to be there where he wants them to be, that could be a silver lining, right? I mean, it's maybe Jonnu Smith's going to wake up this week, and maybe Jonnu Smith will be where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, you guys talk for a second. I'm going to look up who's on the practice squad. By the way, this is funny. I don't know why I was looking this up last night. Maybe just to make myself smile, left field here, but I just pulled my phone up to look up their practice squad, and Weird Al came up on my phone. I don't know why I was looking up Weird Al, but anyway.
Hey, Myers is playing, right? I mean, he's going to be out there.
Fine. Yeah. So you got Diggs on one side, you got Myers on the other,
and Hunter Henry. Henry's
yeah. And I think Smith's going to have to show up at some point. I mean,
well, and still a chance Bourne's back in time. I mean, It's early enough in the week that if he's vaccinated, he can get a negative test and come back.
So their wide receivers on their practice, they only have 2. So it's Wilkerson and Nixon. They don't have.
Yeah, Wilkerson's a good player.
Yeah, Wilkerson's
I don't
a good
know
player.
anything about Nixon, but
he's a rookie.
They'll be fine, man. I mean, the beauty of the offense. I mean, so first of all, they're not going to go out and light the Bills up. They're going to run it like they did last time. They're going to use, they're going to use a lot of play action based off the Bills knowing they're going to need to just stop the run. And you're going to have, this is what they did in the early 2000s, right? I mean, Brady was throwing to good players, but there were times where, or I guess it was the 2000 sick season where it was like Rashay Caldwell and whoever else it was, and it was just like, you know, the offense. You know, they scheme people open. That's what McDaniel is going to be doing on Sunday. I'm not as worried about that, especially if you have Henry and you have Myers. I mean, those are his two security buckets.
Yeah, but Andrew, those teams, those were receivers who were where they were supposed to be. They may not have been the fastest. They may not have been the most complete.
Yeah.
They may not have had game-breaking speed, but you can be damn sure that if they were on the field on Sunday, it's because they were going to be where Brady knew they were going to be, or they weren't going to be on the field. He was going to go to Belichick and whoever and Billy O'Brien and go, "Hey, get this guy off the field." Actually, I think at that point it was still McDaniels. But
the other thing is, I think McDaniels will have a better week this week. He even admitted after he didn't do a very good job on Sunday or the week leading up, whatever. But I think he'll be better. He'll be better this week. I mean, it is the Bills are not going to be at full strength either. So, you know, I think defensively, the Patriots. I'll tell you what, the defense is going to have to win the game.
That's the problem right there.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is a lot of those pre-snap.
Lee
Stevenson was looking like he was actually going to get some yards in a couple of those cases, right? I mean, one of those he ran for like 11 yards, right? And then all of a sudden there's a penalty on a receiver on the other side, or there's a pre-snap.
Yeah, well, John who scored, and they got called back on a hold. Like literally, I think you're going to see a big. I think
wasn't that Myers? Was it Myers that held?
Yeah, I think it was Myers. I think you're going to see a big. I mean, listen. For what's worth, you're going to see problems with run blocking with Jacoby Myers every week. Literally, I remember when he was at NC State. I think I said it when he was coming out. I was excited when the Pats got him as a Wolfpack alum. He was terrible. He couldn't block in college. Literally, Bedard talks about it every week about how bad he is at run blocking. He sucked in college at run blocking. That's not what he does. He's not a big body. He's not a necessarily physical guy. You're not going to get that with him. Back to the game.
He's got to be your slot guy, right? He's just got to make that.
Exactly. But he's not like an Edelman slot guy. Edelman would block you because he just wanted contact. That's not who Myers is. So, back to the game for a second. I do think Jonnu needs to step up because he is athletic. He get the ball in his hands type of guy. If he can catch the ball, show some stone hands sometimes. But to your point, I think they have enough weapons out there. I want to go back a second, and I think I made the statement said problem when he brought up defense. It could be a problem based on what I saw the other night. They don't have the weather at their advantage this game, and the Bills can be a tough offense to stop. So that's where I'm concerned is, can you contain Allen? Can we make him make the mistake? Can the defense do what the defense needs to do, knowing that the offense is a bit limited? And that worries me. I worry about the defense stopping the Bills.
Well, so the good news is that the Bills offensive line is nowhere near as good as the Colts offensive line.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, you're not going to see these guys get pushed around. Christian Barmore is not going to get, blown up the way he did on that last play, right? You're not going to see Godshaw. I mean, you saw Godshaw manhandle the Bills guards. You're not going to see that same level of just blowing guys off the ball. And coach, all the credit in the world to you. You said they better bring their lunch pails because this offensive line is tough, and
they are.
And they out-physicaled them. I mean, they were blowing them right out of the club.
Quentin Nelson fell down. Quentin Nelson at one point did a European soccer move where he fell down. I don't know if you guys saw that when he was acting like he got tripped. I'm like, Quentin, get back in the huddle, man. I don't know, no need for that. Go ahead, Dad.
I just think that the troublesome part about this coming Sunday is Allen's legs. I mean,
right.
It's 3rd and 7. You can't let him run for 12, and he's going to run. He likes to run. So that has to be, planned for and schemed for.
That's Collins and Duggar, right? Those two guys are going to have to be taking turns being the robber.
Yeah, and I feel better about Duggar doing it than I do Collins, I think.
Phillips, too. You have Phillips there. He can do it, too.
They're using Phillips as more of a left side backer, though. They're using him almost as an outside backer to try to contain the rush.
He did it again the other night.
I'm going to say this. If they win this game on Sunday, I'm going pendulum on you.
Perfect storm. Here comes the perfect storm.
So
back up the top of the wave.
So when they lost on Saturday, I was like, one seed's done. I call Andrew. Andrew's like, least of our concern is the one seed. I'm thinking, no, I don't. Listen, it's much easier to make it to the dance at the one seed when you got home field advantage and you have a week off. You don't have to play on wild card weekend, which, by the way, I'm not talking about rest. I'm not talking about whatever. Like, weird things happen in football. So when you can eliminate the chance of them happening by eliminating a game and moving on in the tournament, that's helpful, right? So the Chiefs, Kelsey, Hill, and somebody else is in COVID protocol this week, and they play at Pittsburgh. So I went into the game thinking, the Chiefs are going to win out. I mean, come on, they're going to go, 14-4. It's going to be what it is. They're in trouble this week. So if the it looks like we lost Dad. Dad, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. My phone. I go ahead. You may lose me before this is over.
That's all right. That's okay. So I think they're in trouble, and I think that I don't know. We win on Sunday. They may lose to Pittsburgh, and that puts us right back in the one spot. So, and I want to be in the one spot. Let me be very clear. I don't want to play wild card weekend. They fought too hard. I want to be in the one spot. I want that bye. And that's that. So but I think the Chiefs may lose on Sunday. So they're in trouble.
I'll say this. I don't want to play the Titans. I'll say it right now.
No.
I
especially not a big boy coming back.
That's what I'm saying. That team is going to be rested. All those players coming back, all that extra experience. That's the one team I don't want to see.
Well, let's end it with that, with predictions and look ahead. I mean, who you said the Titans, Mike? That's who you don't want to play. Andrew, Dad, anybody like you? Anybody you're afraid of?
I'd caution us from looking ahead. I mean, I think.
Oh boy.
Well, your playoff game. You got a playoff game this Sunday.
All right, fair.
This
fair
is
enough.
it right here.
Fair
this is going to tell you. It sounds like a broken record, but this week is going to tell you, is this team going anywhere, or are they going to be lucky to make the playoffs?
Well, every week since last week's going to be a playoff game for them now.
Well, that's right. But I also just think you got to be in this moment. Don't worry. This is why I don't care about the one seed. It'd be awesome. Of course, when they make playoffs, I want them to have the bye and home field advantage. But it's I want to see them beat the Bills. I want to see them execute.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I want to see them beat the Jaguars. And then I want to see them go down to Miami and win a game. And if they can't win any of these three games, then the least of our worries is the one seed. You got to go play good December football.
You're right.
And right now, what we saw on Saturday night was just not good enough.
You're a wise blanket of reason, Andrew.
And I think to Andrew's point, I want to see him rebound and play better after last Saturday. That's the key.
I think you will.
So man in the arena, right? One of the things that really struck me in that series was the Patriots were on a roll. They went 21 straight. They went into Pittsburgh in 2004, and they got their butts handed to them.
I was there that night, Mike.
And Belichick was grinning from ear to ear because he was like, now they're going to listen to me.
Can I tell a story?
Now I'm going to hang on one sec. I just want to
go ahead.
Feel free. I feel like that was the one where he's gone to every coach and every player this week, and he's serving humble pie, right? He's going after every one of them and saying, okay, this is what we told you. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. Here it is on the film. Let's put it all away. Now you guys are going to do what we talked about, right? So that's the only thing I'll say about last week. I'm hoping we come into this week and everybody's got a new, okay, this is why we don't do this. And this is why we do this. Go for it, Mike.
No, don't apologize. That was good. I got to clear the floor for a minute, and I think Dad and Andrew know where I'm going with the story. So Dad was at that game. I'm going to go back to 04, and then we'll go predictions and get out of here. So when I was at school, I was at NC State at the time. I used to watch every Patriots game at a bar called Sammy's. Great bar, still there, right off Avon Ferry Road. And I was there that day watching that game, texting Dad, or, I don't know what kind of phone I had in 04. I don't know if I was texting you actually, but you were at the game. It was awful. It was a beatdown. And that's a Steelers bar. Sammy's is a Steelers bar, Mike. So I'm there all Pat's geared out and stuff, and I'm getting heckled all over the place. It's just awful. And I go to the restroom, and there's a guy, I'm at the urinal, and there's a guy beside me at the urinal who's a Steelers fan. And he is, at one, bad bathroom etiquette. Don't talk to me while I'm at the urinal. All right. First of all,
you got to talk at the urinal.
But he's just laying into me. I'm talking like it is relentless, Mike. And so I look at him and I'm walking out, and I'm furious. And I'm like, hey buddy, I'll see you in January. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I said, I'm just telling you, I'll see you in January. Fast forward to January, AFC Championship game. I go back to the bar. It's packed because it's the Steelers bar. Pats are dominating the game. They dominated the AFC Championship game. I can't make it up. I walk in the urinal. The same guy doesn't see me, is at the urinal. So I really broke bathroom etiquette, and he's peeing, and I tap him on the shoulder. And he turns his head and looks at me, and all I said was, "Remember me?" And literally, he's like, "Oh," he didn't say anything. His head just fell down as he continues. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was sweet redemption. Sweet redemption. Dad, you remember that story, right?
I do. I sure do.
Oh, it was awesome.
That's awesome.
It was, I mean, tap him on the shoulder. He didn't say a word. He just put his head right and just kept going. All right.
Trolling Steelers fan.
That's right.
Fan since 2000.
All right. Predictions.
Yeah. I'll go first. I got to jump to a meeting here in a minute.
What's the line, by the way, Mike?
2.5. 2.5 over under 43.
2.5.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm worried about special teams, second time in a big game that a special teams gaffe has happened. Didn't hurt them against the Bills, but let's not forget the Harry fumble.
Yeah, sure did.
They're just not executing on that side of the ball, and that'll cost you a big game. However, I think the offensive line will have a good week against the Bills. I think the defense actually played decently well against the Colts once they adjusted and set the edge. And I think Belichick, when he's got a good defense, knows how to get inside Allen's head. And Allen just makes mistakes. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's going to be important that we don't fall behind. I don't want to have to come back against the Bills. But I would say, Patriots win 27-20.
All right. 27-20. Mike, Dad, go ahead. You go ahead.
I'll just throw in. I think it's a close game. I think the Patriots find a way at home to win. I think 20-17.
20-17. Mike Davis.
Yep.
I think we're going to find out what this team is made up of, right? I think we're going to either find out they are mistake repeaters or they aren't. They're either going to execute or they aren't. And I realize that sounds very cliche-ish, but I also think it's going to look like a Thursday night game with all of the COVID and all the injuries. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a slow starting game on both sides. I think you're going to see a lot of neutralizing and wide receiver drops, incomplete passes. I think there's going to be a lot of failure to execute on both sides of the offense for a while. I guess I'll pick the Patriots because it's the Patriots fan
you don't have to
party.
You don't have to.
I'm going to hope for the Patriots. And I definitely am going under. I'm diving under.
What's the score? Give us a score.
Let's go 17-14 New England.
All right. You don't have to go Patriots because I'm not going to go Patriots. I actually think the Bills are going to win.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Yay.
Now he's at the bottom of the wave again.
That was
perfect storm, baby. Perfect storm.
So
Mark Wahlberg, perfect storm.
It's a great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Wahlberg.
So I actually, and maybe I'm doing it just to see if we can get some reverse hocus pocus or something. I don't know. But I think they're going to struggle in the red zone. I think they're going to kick a lot of field goals, and it's going to frustrate everybody. And I think the Bills are going to execute a lot better. Dad, I'm worried about Allen's legs, like you said. And I think it's just going to be one of those games where they execute better, they look better, but they still struggle in the red zone. They have all year. And I think the Bills will capitalize on it, and I think they'll split the series. So I think I'll take the Bills 23-16 is what I think the final will be.
Right.
So.
Here's your surprise hot take. I think J.J. Taylor is going to have an impact on this game.
Oh, there you go. All right.
If they can finally get him back on the field, yeah.
Hot take. I like it. That's how you end it, Mike. Yeah. If they get him back on the field, right? So, all right. Any final thoughts? We'll get out of here.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
That's right. Fun getting started.
It's awesome.
As we always say, anyone who's watching or checking this out, with the more the merrier.
That's right.
So hopefully you'll join us in the new year.
Right. Send me a note. Go ahead, Mike.
I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun being on the podcast with you guys. I certainly hope other people decide to jump on. Chubb, it's been great. Bill, it's been wonderful. You guys are phenomenal. Definitely think anybody else should jump on and join this show because it has been a whole lot of fun.
For sure.
Ditto, Mike.
All right. Yep. Shoot me a note. Pat's Tailgate Party at gmail.com. Go Pats, man. Hopefully we're on top of the division after Sunday. You guys have happy holidays, everybody. Have fun with the family. Guys. Go Pats. We'll see you next time. Everybody.